Hey everyone, check this out while I tell you about this reoccurring nightmare that I used to have when I was a little girl. And like I was a little girl because the way I like gauge time is by like pets and like siblings' births and things. And so it was when my dog Chance was still alive, but my little brother wasn't born yet. So that means that I was between the ages of 5 and 10. And so I'm pretty sure I was very young because I was losing my teeth and stuff still. And I, uh, in the dream, it was me and my brother, and we were like in the living room watching TV, and my parents were getting dressed up to go out. My parents used to like go to their our like local club for adults or whatever, and they would like go dancing and do whatever, drink and whatnot. And they were getting all dolled up and getting ready to go out. And this time they had hired a babysitter, which they'd never done. They had never ever hired a babysitter in like our whole lives. They usually just left us home with each other because my brother was much older than me. My brother was 8 years older than me, so he was almost always left in charge, and they would just go out and we would just hang out and wait till they got back, kind of thing. And so it was weird. That was weird because when she came in, it just felt weird in the dream. Like I remember, because it, like I said, it was reoccurring. It happened multiple times. But she she walked up to my dad, and my dad got real close to her, and she like leaned in, and my dad like started whispering into her ear, but he wasn't like speaking words. It was like weird clicking sounds, like an alien. And and she just kind of like nodded her head, and then my mom and dad like kissed us and they left. And we were all just kind of like hanging out, right? It was just normal. Everything was fine. That was it. Like it was just normal. But then all of a sudden, my brother, she made him go downstairs. She started getting really mad and she made him go downstairs. And then I can like remember hearing my brother like scream out. And I went to go downstairs to see what it was. And at the bottom of the stairs, like at the little landing area, there was a mirror that like my parents hung for like, aesthetic or whatever. And I could see in the mirror the living room downstairs, and my brother was stuck to the wall with like green stuff, and it was all the way over his face, and he was screaming, but you couldn't hear it. It was muffled because it was over his face. And I ran, and when I turned around and I ran up the stairs, sorry, I ran up the stairs. And when I got up at the top of the stairs, the woman was up there, and I was like, I'm getting out of here. And I went to go out the front door, and the way that the front door was is there was like a long skinny window next to the front door that you could kind of like see out of. And it was like you could we lived on the corner lot, like the corner of the street area, and you could see multiple roads from that little skinny window. And when I looked out that window, it was like a whole bunch of ships landed, like, and they looked like your classic like flying saucer alien ships. I was just a little kid, but they all landed all up and down the street. And when I turned around, her face like split in two. And I remember it was like this grotesque, like uh, uh, almost like a jellyfish texture face. And there was this movie back in the day, and God, I can't remember what the hell it was called, but the aliens would like kick their knees backwards and like go hopping around. When they would go into their alien form, that's what she looked like. I think I had watched too much shit like that when I was little. But that's kind of what she, like, her face shape was like, but her skin was like purplish. And like the door opened up and a whole bunch of like littler versions of her, like just like other small hers, were all around. And she reached her hand out to me and she told me, "You need to come with me." And I remember her hand reaching out to me and it had 3 fingers on it. And I was like, heck no, I'm not taking that hand. I have 5 fingers. And I went to go run downstairs, and that's when I like woke up. And I woke up screaming, crying. The very first time I woke up so upset. And my mom came into the room and she was like, "Mandy, what's wrong?" And I don't know why, but I was embarrassed to tell her that I had a bad dream about aliens. And so I made up a lie. I lied to her and I told her that I had a bad dream that my tooth fell out and it grew giant and it ate our dog Chance, which sounds much more realistic for the age that I was. But yeah, I'm a little shaky right now actually thinking about it. I haven't thought about this dream in a long time, but I was just watching something on YouTube and it made me think about it. And I was like, oh man, I haven't thought about that dream in a long time. And it reoccurred for a long time. I had that dream, I think, up until I was like 12. And it finally went away. But I do believe there's shit out there. I've seen it. I've seen it for sure. Like, living here in Cowtown, Greeley, me and my friends, we would just get into Megan's truck and just drive drive and like find random ass places and just smoke weed and smoke cigarettes and look at the stars and shit. And there was one time we were at the park by my house. Pardon me. And we were all smoking weed, right? It's legal now, but it wasn't legal then. And so we went to the park because my parents didn't want it at the house. And we were all in Megan's truck. We all had ourselves crammed in this tiny, tiny little truck. There was 3 of us, and there was barely enough room. And we're hotboxing the shit out of this truck. Just smoking cigarettes and shit, and we could see my house from where we were, and we were stupid kids, so we were like drinking and shit, like taking shots. And we saw something, like it was just lights, like you couldn't see, it was too far away, but you could just see the lights, but they moved so strangely, right? Like, and the way that it moved, it kind of went like where our house, like the housing development was, past that it was just like open fields and like forest area. And so that's out where it was over. And we watched it, like, because I remember us like rolling down the windows to get the smoke out of the car so we could be like, what the fuck is that? And we watched it and it went like straight, like it was going real fast, and then it stopped, and then it went straight, like pretty slowly, and then it shot like a light straight up into the air, like into the clouds, because it was kind of cloudy that evening. It was like afternoonish. The sun was going down, and there was lots of clouds. And it shot that beam like straight up into the clouds, and it went straight up, and we shat our pants. We were like, oh my god, what the fuck was that? And I remember Alyssa in the middle was like, Mandy, I want to go back to your house. Mandy, I want to go back to your house. We need to go back in the basement. And I was like, okay, like, do you want me to get out of the truck? And Megan starts at the truck, and we and we just, like, we went the block and a half back to my house. We went back down into the basement, and we were like, the hell just happened? I need a nap. uh, that was good. I hope you like that story. This is really fun. I feel like I have someone to talk to, so thanks everyone, if anybody's listening. Thank you. You're fucking crazy too, aren't you? I love it. Like and subscribe. Bye.